Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Omega Ruby. I'm your host, the PokeGamer. In the last episode, we took on the two remaining members of the Elite Four, Glacia and Drake. Today we're going to be taking on the champion and going through a lot of cutscenes. So I'm pretty sure I spoiled this already. Not that it probably needed to be spoiled, but if you didn't already know, Steven is of course the champion in this game. In, like, obviously the originals, he was also the champion, and if I remember correctly off the top of my head, I'm almost 100% positive, he was replaced as the Elite Four champion in Emerald with Wallace. So yeah, because I believe Wallace was replaced by Juan and whatever. So before we get into this battle, let's cover his team. He has a level 57 Skarmory as his lead. He also has a level 57 Claydol, a level 57 Aggron, a level 57 Credilli, a level 57 Armaldo, and as his ace a level 59 Metagross that happens to also have the Metagross height. So yes, he will be dealing with a Mega Evolved Pokemon. Also, the Skarmory and the Aggron both have Sturdy, so something else that you need to kind of worry about, which means there's also going to be a guaranteed full restore, unless you happen to have something that gets through Sturdy, like a double hitting move, or something that ignores abilities in general. Which of course we don't have any of that, so as far as I'm aware anyway. I mean, I suppose we could have gone with something that had a chance of like burning or something like that, but like, let's be real. So let's cover her moves, and I guess we'll go in the order of what comes out, which starts with Skarmory. The only thing that, by the way, we're only going to see 2 Pokemon actually get moves off here, well 3 if you count the Metagross, because I did something ironic slash stupid slash funny. Skarmory's going to be able to get in a move, Aggron's going to be able to get in a move, and then Metagross is also going to be getting in moves. Skarmory's moveset here is going to be Toxic, Aerial Ace, Spikes, and Steel Wing. Again, as I noted before, Skarmory and Aggron both have Sturdy, which means they can survive a one-hit kill. So, as a result, it's going to get that free setup of the Spikes in this fight. When we get around to it, Aggron's also going to get in a free Earthquake. And of course, whenever you get a boss, like, trainers, Pokemon in the red, they're always going to use some kind of healing item. So, full restores, hooray, you have to actually, hit it, 2 more times, because, like, whatever. So, obviously, after a couple more Thunderbolts, we just kill this thing. Did not want to waste Eruption or anything like that on this, trying to kill it, because obviously, again, it's sturdy. And of course, Metagross also gets enough experience to level up. Congratulations, I suppose. So he brings in the Aggron here. I'm not entirely sure why. It's kind of got that, like, it has to deal with the fact that Groudon is a ground type, and it's obviously 4 times weak to that. So I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I guess Sturdy is a thing, and it does get that chance to get off, well, not that chance, but it does get that opportunity to get off the Earthquake. But Claydol is, basically Levitate, and it says, oh hey, I have Earth Power, which is also just as effective against me as Earthquake is. So as for Aggron's other moves, for anyone that actually lets it get in more than one hit, it also has Stone Edge, Iron Tail, and Dragon Claw. So nothing too threatening. It's pretty manageable, but whatever. So in comes the Claydol. This Claydol is a dual screen Pokemon, which is funny because it doesn't even have the Light Play. It has Reflect, Light, Screen, Extrasensory, and Earth Power. So we probably switch this thing in, trying to go, okay, well if it lives, I can hit it with an Earth Power. But a Sun, Solar Beam should be more than enough. So, I mean, you could bring in something like Swampert, use a water move like Waterfall or something if you want to. It's also fine. There's also Gardevoir Shadow Ball, so it's not like you can't get over it. So in comes Credilli. So, Credilli has Giga Drain, Ancient Power, Sludge Bomb, and Confuse Ray. The thing is, I think that you need to be at full HP with Primal Groudon in order to actually O-code these things, at least from where our standpoint is. I'm not entirely sure, and I just didn't kind of trust it, not to mention I kind of want to give other Pokemon a chance to actually battle here. So we're going with the Mega Metagross, again for the irony against Steven's own Metagross, but Ironhead's good enough to kill both Credilli and Armaldo in one hit. I was kind of thinking one shot and one hit at the same time, so yeah, excuse that. So Armaldo's moveset here, not that it's really relevant, for what you're seeing on screen. X-Scissor, Rock Blast, Metal Claw, and Crush Claw. So there's that. Now, if you want to actually O-code this Metagross with the team that I have, You would want to switch in the Swampert here for the stab boosted Earthquake. Or you could really go with Groudon if you want to, I suppose, but because I mean the stab Earth Power, it would still be super effective, and, you know. But I mean, either one works. It's pretty much a guaranteed KO. I really don't understand how it wouldn't be. The reason why we didn't OHKO with our Metagross is because obviously Earthquake's not stab. But once we take out this Metagross, we get to start. We inch ever closer to those really long cutscenes, and as you can tell, this episode's obviously very long. Not that I ever wanted it to be, but it's just something that we have to kind of deal with, I suppose, and not much I'm going to do about it. Anyways, with Metagross down, that is the fall of the champion Steven. So now we get to deal with a little bit of a cutscene, not like an actual cutscene, because we still actually have control over the game, but we get to kind of sit here and listen to them talk a bit. We even get interrupted, then we get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then we get to deal with a whole slew of, you know, cutscenes, which I'm going to let everyone just sit here and enjoy. So, I mean, but, yeah. So, as you can see, Brendan decides to show up and say, hey, yeah, I got, you know, advice against Steven, because, you know, you're actually a better trainer than me, and, you know, why not? And we obviously end up proving that we've already beaten him without his help. And of course, Bridge already knew that this was going to be the case. So, congratulations to us, I suppose. But there's not much left for this little bit of a cutscene, so we end up getting to go into the room, which is the Hall of Fame room. So, hurry that. It's funny that it saves just before. I'm not entirely sure why it does that. Maybe because if something happens before the save, you can start just before the champion and then have to battle him again or something. I'm not entirely sure. I think there was some kind of like problem with the Hall of Fame thing in X and Y, so they kind of, I think, tried to create some kind of failsafe for it here. I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, we get to welcome into the Elite Four's Hall of Fame Groudon, Altaria, Roserade, who did absolutely nothing, Gardevoir, Metagross, and of course our starter Pokemon, Swampert. So, hooray, all of that. And once we're done with, you know, getting these cool little close-ups of all of our Pokemon, by the way, Metagross looks really cool there, we can finally get started on cutscenes. So, without further stalling of the cutscenes, we can get this thing started, I guess. you thought we were done, we aren't. We still have one more thing to do before we have one final cutscene, and then we can get started on the post game. Well, the post game before the post game, I guess. As you can see, we're sitting here back on Route 103 with Brendan, and we kind of have a little bit of a nostalgic moment where we kind of are standing near a pond that we kind of battled near at the very beginning of the game. The thing that I never actually realized that this pond was also the very pond from the very, like the opening of the actual games. I don't think I even remember this from the original games. However, Brendan wants to have one more battle. It's kind of like the end of Pokemon X and Y. Not to try and spoil anything because I will be doing that game at some point on this end for anyone who's ever never actually played X and Y. Don't want to spoil too much for anyone. But as a result, he wants to kind of learn about us through battling us and our Pokemon, and he wants us to do the same for him. He wants us to learn about him, not that we really learn anything relevant at all anyways. So, kind of forced into the battle. So if you want to be prepared for this battle for whatever reason, whatever your lead was against Steven will also be your lead here in this battle, which in our case is going to be Groudon, which is not a terrible lead for us because we have access to Thunderbolt. Downside is, of course, the Primal Evolution kind of takes up some time, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not like Gardevoir has Thunderbolt, and outside of that, we'd probably just want Swampert to kind of, and that would be kind of a terrible lead against Steven anyways. So, at the cost of the lengthy Primal Evolution, we do have the beneficial Thunderbolt to kind of take out his lead, and honestly, you can just really easily sweep Brendan. His Pokemon are like really low leveled. You should have really no trouble battling him. His levels are that of basically the lowest levels possible in the first run of the Elite Four. At least that's what his best Pokemon stands at. The thing is this Pokemon battle is going to be slightly different from all of the others, as far as I remember anyways. His team is pretty much no different than it's almost always been. The only difference here is that his ace being, of course, his starter being, and of course that being, Sceptile, it now has a Mega Stone equipped to it, so you will be also facing one of the other starters in the game that can also Mega Evolve. So just kind of throwing that one out there. He does get one of the Mega Stones that you did not get in the game. You just can't get it at all. The thing is when Sceptile Mega Evolves, it becomes part Dragon, so I kind of decided, Mega Evolution versus Mega Evolution again, kind of like we did with Steven. So we're going to just go ahead and Mega Evolve and go for the Stab Super Effective Hyper Voice. And with that, we will also be taking out Brendan, which is also, of course, also going to start yet another cutscene. So, honestly, I do think that Mega Sceptile is pretty cool, but it's a shame it's not as good as it probably could be. So, whatever. I mean, Ray Lightning Rod, I suppose. Anyways, time for more cutscenes, and then we can get started, with whatever we need to. we're not done yet. Be sure to stay tuned for the next episode. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the PokeGamer, signing out.